Hey guys! So first of all, I'm so sorry that I've barely posted on this channel this year. Second of all, needless to say, welcome to what is going to be a little bit of an overhaul of my channel. I am still making coffee every day. I still love coffee so much, but I've found recently that my motivations and my focuses have shifted a little bit from pretty much exclusively producing coffee content across a ton of different hobbies and creative endeavors, and I don't really know what is going on with me, but I've recently delved super hard back into a lot of hobbies and creative outlets that I had when I was younger that I never thought would be a huge major part of my life again, but now they are. So now, instead of the coffee world being kind of a singular focus, it has become one of many hobbies that I'm putting a lot of time toward. And with all of this, obviously, I've not been putting as much time toward this channel, but I do want to maintain this platform because I really enjoy making YouTube videos. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a great way to kind of catalog and remember different phases of life. I think it's a great way to connect and share information. So I'm gonna continue the channel as not only a coffee channel, but also as kind of a personal channel, a personal catalog of where I'm at in my life and what I'm doing. And I know that a lot of you guys will probably hate the idea of this. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I've put off making and putting this video out because I know that most of you are probably just here for coffee. I actually filmed an initial intro somewhat like this about a month ago, and obviously it didn't make it into a video because I've just been sitting on it, super nervous. Moving forward, I kind of want to make this channel a hodgepodge of several different things, so I'm going to continue with the Happy Home Barista content. I'm going to continue making recipes and vlogging coffee events and, you know, trying things. Definitely, I want to be just as immersed in the coffee world as I always have been. But I also want to dip my toes into a more vloggy style thing. I want to share what I've been loving recently. I want to share my other creative projects. I want to make this a more authentic and well-rounded experience. Because another thing about Happy Home Barista up to now, and kind of the character of Happy Home Barista, is that I feel like I've been presenting this very caricaturized, curated version of myself, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that everyone that produces content online probably does something similar, but I'm becoming a little bit exhausted with this very like singular presentation of myself, if that makes any sense. I want to dial down the Happy Home Barista character a little bit and kind of output more of myself. And so I think that this would also be a good segue into that. And if you absolutely hate the idea of this, I'm so sorry. But if you are staying through this little overhaul, I promise to put coffee content out. The channel will still be at least 50% coffee, 50 to 60% coffee at the very least. And I do have upcoming coffee content planned. I'm going to Dallas Coffee Fest in a few weeks. Definitely gonna vlog that. My sister and I are going to SCA Expo in Houston next month, and there will absolutely be a video about that. I also do have ideas for home brewing videos, home coffee videos. You know, I want to delve more into the Breville now that I've had it for a couple of years. I definitely want to do some coffee shop and review videos. So again, this is not an abandonment of the coffee content, but it'll have the addition of everything else about what's going on with me. So the rest of this video is just going to be an amalgamation of footage that I've gotten in the past month or so, just behind the scenes, like what I've been up to. night ended up being very different than what we had originally planned. We went to Best Buy and I bought a printer. And then we went to 2 separate fast food restaurants and ate fast food in the car and hung out.
I got Galaxy Quest.
He got Galaxy Quest. I got a new Moleskine and 2 little canvases and Devotions by Mary Oliver, which has been in my cart forever. I've really wanted to read it, and I went into the book section at Target thinking, wouldn't it be funny if they had Devotions by Mary Oliver, but there's no way. And what do they have but Devotions by Mary Oliver? So I got that. Yeah, between that and my printer that I'm going to use for bullet journaling, I had a pretty successful haul. I also want to share the other things that I'm doing and what I'm loving right now. In my journal at the end of every month, I write down all of the media that I got super into and just things that stood out to me about the month, like both about what I've been doing and what I've been consuming. And I might carry that idea over into this. So this will be a first foray into that. This whole video is just one huge experiment. So bear with me, this will get cleaner, more streamlined, better. I first and foremost have been delving really deeply into making music. I've been writing songs pretty much my entire life, but I had a massive hiatus through most of my 20s. And in the past couple of years, I've been writing a lot more, and then in the past couple of months I've started to actually record some of these things. So I have a little music project established. I haven't put anything out yet. I'll let you know when I do, but I've been spending a lot of time just in our home studio trying to figure out how to record these songs in a way that I like. And I've also been spending a lot of time just practicing instruments. I play guitar, piano, and bass all pretty badly. You know, guitar and piano just kind of serve the purpose of accompanying the songs that I write that are all very simple, but bass I'm actually interested in getting proficient at. So I've been practicing bass almost every day. I also, in the past month or so, have delved back into writing poetry, which I never thought would happen. Poetry was actually my major when I did go to college for a while, and I got really into it. I got published in some Chicago poetry magazines. I did open mics and readings all the time. It was like my entire life. But in my 20s, I kind of dropped off on it. I just didn't feel the motivation to do it. But for whatever reason, in the past month or so, I've written a ton of poetry. And I made a Substack account, which is the only social media that I've maintained kind of a presence on and that I've kept on my phone. And I've been posting a ton of poetry to that. So if you guys do want to connect with some of the other things I'm doing, I will give you my Substack. It's just under my name. So if you're into the idea of poetry, that is that for you. I've been reading so much poetry recently. I mean, so much in general, but so much poetry, and it feels so good to get back into it. And I'll show you guys some of my favorite books recently. So this is actually a reread, but the last time I read it was about 10 years ago. I love Frank O'Hara. He's one of my favorite poets of all time. I also, both musically and poetry-wise, am in a deep Mark Lanigan phase, so I've been reading his poetry. There are 2 other books in this series. I cannot for the life of me get my hands on the other 2. I also read this collection of his poems, absolutely loved it, and I got this book with all of his lyrics up to 2017, which is one of my favorite things that I've ever read. It was so inspiring, both poetically and musically. This has been just 10 out of 10, like one of the best things to come into my life recently. I highly, highly, highly recommend not only this, but all of the albums that go along with it. All of his output has been just my favorite thing in the world. I also have really been loving Louise Gluck, who I wanted to look into for a long time. I keep seeing her poetry online on Pinterest and things like that, so I bought this full-length sort of anthology of her poems, and I'm about a quarter of the way into it right now, and it's absolutely phenomenal. I'm also working on this. I do not speak French. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name because I will embarrass myself, but I've really loved this as well. I have a really bad habit of reading multiple books at once, and I do finish them all eventually, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer. My focus goes in so many different directions, so several of those are books in progress. I also, on the Mark Lanigan related front, am delving really deeply into the whole 90s kind of grunge scene. Musically, that's a sphere that I've really liked for a while, but it's taken me a long time to kind of get into the behind the scenes of it, and so I just bought this, and I haven't started it yet, but I'm really excited to. And I also have a book about Screaming Trees that was written by their drummer, and then a book about Alice in Chains on the way. I'll give you guys a little review of all of those, I guess, in a few weeks when I finish them. But yeah, creatively and media consumption wise, that's what I've been up to. That's why I haven't posted on this channel in 100 years.